Hello beautifuls, welcome to the channel. My name is Epic Treasure, and today I want to dive into a suggestion made by, you can put your suggestions below too. Be interesting to see how many people share the same opinion or idea or wish for Palworld. So today, this one is the building system and structure sets. And I've dove into this one before in regards to the sandstone, because you know I've been going on about the sandstone for quite a while. And with this new update, there is Sekhmet, which is a new PAL that we will see in this one and also in PAL Farm next year. And there's a few other little inklings of Egyptian-esque features. For example, one of the patterns on the carpet that I showed recently in a video was that of an Egyptian pattern. So the sandstone is something I won't shut up about because I expect to see it. I can see how it can be farmed. As with Craftopia, you could drill that on the beach, and we know that Craftopia is made by Pocket Pair also. So this one is from Discord channel, the official Palworld one. Don't forget to join my Discord channel. The description below. Let's dive into this one. The wood, stone, and metal structure sets all feel generic and bland. We'll share examples. The building system itself is very basic and restrictive. It does not support wedges, triangles, curves, or any kind of complex layout. The build zone you get is also too small. And some of the structure sets are missing key pieces needed to create a second floor. For example, the Japanese structure set includes both roof A, which matches the foundation, and roof B, the roof piece itself. The clean and metal sets don't even have that. The system really needs to be on par with something like Conan Exiles. Right now, it limits creativity. If you look at the stonework in the ruined fortress city or the other ruins scattered across the island, you can see far more interesting designs: tilted roofs, carved columns, nice wooden doors, and even styled windows with glass. Screenshots I've shared just show how many creative builds are possible, yet we cannot replicate any of them. There are also structures like oil rigs and other unique metal and cement constructions that we simply don't have access to, even though they exist in the world. Why can't we build oil rig platforms or base supports over water, jackets or legs, to build water bases or even defences like those turrets? What about rough settlement buildings and their decorations? There is so much that isn't available to players that should be. Maybe these could be added on the tech tree for blueprints instead. I would love this, by the way. For example, medieval stone structures could be found in Mount Obsidian dungeons. I love it so much. Or that the Brothers of the Eternal Pyre camps oil rig blueprints could come from Syndicate oil rigs and settlement building plans. Could be unlocked through quests, NPCs there. And more to add to this, we'll update time to time, but check out my other ideas. So here we have, let's just wait for this to load. There we go. Let me just move this over on the screen. So these are the sets that we have. You can just do that. That's as good as we have at this time, unless you've got mods. Now, this is what sees as possible, obviously. If you've been to the castle around the volcanic area, you know that a lot of people build off this to sort of make it more complete. But we can see all these beautiful designs here. Let me see if I can zoom in. I can. These beautiful winding staircases and the arch roofs and the archways and things like that. It's just really lovely. I really do expect to see sandstone. I don't see why that would not happen. I expected it to be instead, in the last expansion, I expected that to be, DLC, addition, update, whatever you want to call it, instead of the space stuff. I thought the space stuff would come later, but always surprises. And then we have these features too. Like, I'm not sure how difficult this is from a developer's perspective personally, but this is something that would, I think, change the game for a lot of people that enjoy building for sure. Let's just jump down here to some more designs. I'm going to zoom in on this one too. Let me know if you'd like to see this in the game too. Let me zoom in a bit. Oops. A little bit here. Just so many nice things. So this is the oil rig section. I don't particularly have any affinity with any of the metal stuff. I'm not into it, but we have a look at this very cool, let me just zoom up a little bit. Up here. How lovely, I mean for metal, this structure is here. This flooring is here. We've got these sort of cage bottoms here, and you know, so many different features. Like I said, I don't know how difficult this is for the developers to include this, but there's a lot of mods out there for PC that have wild things. A lot of people are going to PC explicitly for the mods for building, etc. So we have a little bit of an update from here. I'd love to see unique wooden structure set and matching decorations to the Free Pal Alliance FPA that feels more connected to nature, something inspired by Gridania's architecture from Final Fantasy. FPA doesn't rely on advanced technology. Their tools are simple, like crossbow sticks, the use of pals. Harmonious with nature so it doesn't disrupt, yes, the environment. That would go against the way of like, all right, we'll just get on with this. This one, could that imagine if it was like that? And then we go down here, the Japanese style structures. And that's something I noticed early on too. In the dungeons, they had beautiful lanterns. This is well before lanterns are introduced into decorations. They're beautiful interiors of those dungeons. You know, there's amazing plants, reflective water, just the lighting was beautiful. And the lanterns and the bridges, I mean, the bridges is something that I would love to have. Just little stone bridges. And here we have these hanging lanterns, which we got. And scrolling down, like there's just so much that's in the game already that I would personally love to have access to. The sandstone structures is another set we don't have, and it's the most interesting in the game is because this one has levitating platforms that go vertical and horizontal. I'll show in the pictures below the others. Having this in the game is not only cool, but it gives us access to primitive, ancient, modern, and sci-fi elevators, moving platforms. There is a thing, what was it called? A moving panel. I'm not sure if that's just a placeholder. That was in one of the sort of data mined content. I don't know what that is, but I'm not very motivated about, you know, sci-fi elevators and platforms so much yet. We saw in one of the earlier trailers that it had a rocket there. It had computer type of technology there, but we're yet to see that. I'm not pumped to see it. But here we go with all of the sandstone stuff here that we'll see in the desert area, which I do really expect to see this in the upcoming update. I'm always shocked, honestly, with what comes out, and not a bad thing, but it's kind of destined, you know what I mean? Like, we look at Sekhmet and we look at, you know, the different features that were shared in the little animations, etc. You know, it's sort of, to me, it's a given that we have sandstone, but the system really needs to be on par with something like Conan Exiles. What I mean by that is the game needs to add direct in-place upgrades so pieces can be swapped easily without destroying everything. Well, we can do that. We can already do replacement. That, I'm not sure if that's what one means. Ability to drag and move already built objects. Yes, I don't mind that. That's the same as Grounded too. Foundation stacking, terrain adaptation so foundations can conform to the ground and create level surface. I'd like to be able to do some weed whacking, removing grass, plants and rocks that clip through the buildings. And a type of adapting foundation system that adjusts beam angles based on the terrain. I don't know how demanding that is. I kind of like the challenge, honestly, dealing with it. To be able to flatten earth, etc. You know, I don't know how hefty that is. And then there's some examples of, oh my gosh, look at that. That's stunning. But I like the idea of blueprints. Brian says, I agree with this. You'll see I love building in this game. One thing I'd like to do is build a permanent base home in the game and have two problems. The base size is always so small to build anything of reasonable space. And second, I'm not a YouTuber, my mind cannot do crazy builds like that. There's some that are just insane, honestly. YouTubers are using glitches and bugs to create something amazing. The whole building needs a lot of improvements as well as the base as a whole. I don't want to build a mega base. Well, I mean, you can get something of size as long as you build vertically though. Width-wise, I mean, I don't... Like with the 8.0 base, it has everything in there that you need, basically. Check the channel for that one. Just move this over. It has everything you need in that base. I don't need it to be any bigger. If I wanted it to be bigger, I could make it more vertical. And I honestly think that fits everything. I could easily put all the crops and things there too. Another level on top of it and done. So I love this idea. I would love the idea of having blueprints dropping from the syndicates. I think that's an amazing idea. And absolutely starting to integrate some of these existing building structures into what you can unlock. But I'm in a weird kind of mind because I don't know how many people want that. You know, in my mind, I do. I don't know how many people see Palworld as a, predominantly building game for them though. It's the same with horror games. You know, I want to see, the villain as actually being a human. People apparently don't want that. People want to see, these esoteric, occult type of supernatural type of enemies all the time, or aliens, etc. But I want, something to be very kind of real and, that to be a possibility. I think that's a very cool idea, but you just don't see that. And that's where my mind's at. So with Palworld, I don't know how many people are similar minded when it comes to building. If majority of people actually care to have different building structures, or were they rather more leashes and saddles and things for different pals? I don't know. Put your comment below. I'd be very interested to know what you think. I love and leave you. Have an amazing day or night. Thank you so much for making this content possible. Don't forget, subscribe, see in the Discord channel, link in the description below.
Drag